What's up, everyone? Ooh, Getting ready to head out, man. Go grab some coffee real quick for the day. This is not financial advice. It's not the for me, by the way. I'm not a coffee guy for some reason. Um, yeah, but what are we looking at? This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, so don't base anything I say off these videos. I'm just doing it for pure entertainment purposes only. I'm like the rookie of the office, when they send them out for coffee, except it's just me and my wife, and we've been married for who knows how long, a lot of years. Anyways, AMC update. I want to point out one thing and take it with a grain of salt, but you notice AMC, when the whole market was jumping and rising, it had trouble kind of growing. It went up a little bit, a few cents, but I mean, for the majority of my plays, I would probably say, well, all of my plays on the night after or whatever it was, and everything started pumping the day after the election. Everything of all my stocks went up, like a major significant amount. AMC stayed very low. Nothing really came of it. It bumped up a little bit, and today and the last couple of days, I'm seeing everything kind of pull back, retrace a little bit, correct itself, whatever you want to call it. And I'm seeing AMC do the same thing, pull back. So one of the things I look at in this theory of manipulation and fuckery and whatever you want to call it, we could be totally wrong. I could be totally wrong. Whoever else has the theory could be totally wrong, and who knows. But what I have noticed on those days where the whole market's green, AMC is still kind of running in a reverse. And then on the red days, I shouldn't say kind of a reverse. It's running on a slower scale. And the only reason I believe that is happening is because they cannot let this thing get out of control. Almost all of you know that if AMC hits $5.66, they wipe out a giant, enormous piece of debt. Theaters are busy. Theaters are strong. I've been to several different websites. I've checked different cities. I've checked the seating charts, primetime movie times, even slow movie times. They're selling tickets. The popcorn merchandise is making them money. They're making money. So the only reason I can conclude is the shorts on the other side are just going ham on it. I'm not. I don't know about you, but I buying and they're not, and OBV volume is accurate, all that extra stuff, then yeah, that's the only way. But like I said, the market runs up, AMC stays flat, the market goes down, AMC goes down. So that in itself kind of shows me something, because I even see companies that really that shouldn't have been that green as they were the day after the election, still running up way more percent than they should have. I don't have exact numbers. I'm fucking driving for coffee. I'm half asleep still. Shit. What do you want from me? But the truth of the matter is, it's the same thing, different day. We've been dealing with it. I've been dealing with it. I guess I can't speak for us, but I have been dealing with this play and this type of thing. I'm starting to see, like, it looks like almost like ladder attacks again, randomly. And that's why I said the other day on my live, it's almost like a reset. Like, everything's reset now. We just got to battle back. I don't think it can be pushed down the road again, especially with the new administration coming in. Who knows what's going to happen with Rick Gensler? Was he for retail? That's up for debate. I don't know. I'm not going to get into all that. Could it have been better? Definitely. So is this new administration going to appoint someone else? Are they going to stick with Gensler? Now, you got to also remember, during this whole process, DJT, Donald Trump, also screamed from the rooftops that they were a victim of naked shorting, some sort of manipulation. So you got to believe, that Donald Trump, and he's going to implement something. He's felt this, you know what I mean? So obviously it's a little different. He's rich and he's a public figure, and et cetera, et cetera. But if his own company has felt the process of what we believe, or he believes, or whoever believes, is naked shorting illegally, then you would think that he might appoint someone that would do something about it. So like I said, this isn't going to be something that's overnight. You're going to get a lot of FUD, a lot of haters, a lot of shit talkers, a lot of people just saying, this is still an AMC, oh my god, that thing's dead, move on. And a lot of people just think that for some, and some of you are only an AMC, and I'm not knocking you for that, but for me, I'm in all sorts of, my portfolio is very diverse, very big, and they just want to make you feel bad, I guess, for holding AMC, but whatever. I know that Bank of America bought more positions in. There were some other funds that bought more long positions in AMC. So it's just a lot of positive in a negative situation. And I think, this is the first time that I can think of in a long time that I see somewhat of a light at the end of the tunnel. During COVID and all that, when the theater business was doing bad, it took a long time to recover. It took a long time for movies to start coming back to theaters. People dabbled with the fact that they might go to streaming, and they did dabble with it, but there's enough people on this fucking planet to do both. You can have streaming and you can have theaters. One or the other is not going to knock each other out. I do both. I watch movies on Netflix and at home on Amazon, whatever, and then we go to the theaters. It's just it's an American cult classic type thing to do, is go to the theaters. It's not going to change. You see a lot of actors saying, hey, this should go straight to the big screen. And, I've got 5 kids, and 4 of them still, youngers, and they're, every time there's a movie, they want to go to the theaters. Every weekend they're asking to go to the movie. Their friends go. It's just, like I'm saying, it's not going anywhere. So the FUD that streaming would knock out theaters, I think, has been debunked already. There's all sorts of crazy FUD that just randomly comes in, and it's always going to be something new, something to scare you out, and maybe one technique doesn't work for you, but the next one will, so I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. I could be totally wrong. I've never claimed to be a financial advisor. I've never claimed to be a fucking genius. I just base my shit off of instinct and some DD, you know what I mean? A lot of DD. Sorry about that sun right there, man. Sorry, the sun is fucking shining on us. I'm sorry. But like I said, plenty of good things to look at. Movies are just heavily in rotation right now. Theaters are doing well. There's going to be some things that reflect on this next quarter, like when they took that debt transition for the shares. It's going to make it look like it was a negative movement, but it was really a positive thing, paying your debt with your shares. I don't know, man. There's this, and anything can be spun another way. So, and I think it will continue to be that. I think here in the next, I've talked a lot about Q4 being a big quarter, and it still is to me. I think, towards the end of Q4, I think the FUD is going to get super heavy, because I think there's going to be more FOMO. I think there's going to be more people jumping back in. The fact is, this stock, in my personal opinion, should not be sitting where it's at. The lowest, in my opinion, I think something like this stock should be sitting at is like $15 to $20 at a share. There's no way it's sitting under $5. And, it hasn't had a bounce up above $5.66 since they made the deal of, once the shares hit $5.66, they pay off debt. A lot of debt, not the complete debt. I know people get it twisted, but it's just so in your face. And it's kind of sad, really, but we got, like I said, there's a light at the end of the tunnel for me. Before, the movies weren't consistent. The movies coming to the big screen weren't big movies. COVID, people were scared. There was just a long process. You had the writer's strike, you had this, you had that, you had people thinking that streaming might take over, and movie companies dabbling with that. You got some of the big actors that have kind of transitioned, like someone like Adam Sandler. All they do is Netflix movies, and they're not very good. You know what I mean? Like, he went from like one of the best theatrical comedians, and then they just started pumping these things out, and it's about a paycheck for them. I get it. But then you got other actors like, God, I can't remember who it was. Someone just recently wanted their movies to go straight to the big screen. There's going to be flops, and there's going to be surprise movies. And when there's a flop, a movie that's supposed to be big, you're going to hear all about it, When there's a movie that pops up that breaks records that wasn't supposed to, you're not going to hear much about it. Except from people that are pro theater, pro AMC, pro whatever, so you just got to take the good with the bad, roll with it. There's going to be a lot of bad. Like I said, the narrative is controlled by the media. The media is controlled by rich motherfuckers who have control of the stocks and shares. And, you know, it's a sad thing, but it's the reality we live in my personal opinion. No factual evidence behind this, just my thoughts and opinions. But like I said, movie's stronger, so there's hope there. The business is doing better, there's hope there. You know, the credit cards, the popcorn, all the companies that they've started to maintain themselves during that dead time when everyone said that we were going to go bankrupt and AMC wouldn't make it. They transitioned. Obviously the shareholders saved them, and then they saved themselves as well. They didn't just sit back and let it go, you know what I mean? So that's that. So, I mean, you got that. So all that's working together. You're going to have a lot of good things that are going to happen. At the end of this quarter and I still think it'll be positive regardless. Also, the presidential move, you know, with the new office. Yeah, a lot of people don't like it, and like it or not, if you're a Democrat, Republican, whatever, if you're in the stock, a change has got to be good. I do think that Trump will come in, and if Gensler's working on retail side, I think he'll see that and help him. And if Gensler's not, I think he'll be replaced. So, you know, you just gotta hope and trust that this new administration will bring some good change. That'll be beneficial to the retail. Now, there's nothing that's going to suddenly just make everything change, like not all the way down the board. Like, everyone's good now, we're going to fucking pay everyone out what they owe, you know. But, you know, the movement towards that, combined with the ridiculousness of shorting a company that's making you lose money, I think could help AMC pop. GME, looking at strong numbers, but I would say this: everyone's hyped about GME again. I wouldn't be surprised to see it getting hammered back down. You know, I have not taken profits. It was very tempting, but I'm buying and holding GME as well. So that's that. plenty of upside coming, you know. And if you don't agree, that's fine. That's fine, man. Have your own opinion. I'm not here to fight or argue or force my opinion on anyone. I'm just throwing my thoughts out there because no one in my family wants to hear this shit no more. 4 fucking years of talking about this shit. They're like, I'm done. You know, and that's kind of one of the FUD on the other side that they use against us right now. It's like, how long is this going to happen? And I've said it a million times, you know, even if this thing doesn't squeeze at this point, I'm so invested, it's got to be a long-term hold for me. It wouldn't make sense for me to sell at a loss. Yes, I am holding a bag. It is what it is, but I do believe that I'm holding a bag that will be filled. So, you know, that's that. There's nothing else I can say about it, you know. People will talk shit and say, you're holding the bag. Well, it's kind of what happens when the stock market goes up, it goes down, you know. Hold on 1 second here. Not bad. Not bad. Had to place my order. But, you know, when you place these orders, you gotta get your reward points. I had to add my phone number. Last thing I need is motherfuckers on here and get my phone number. Can imagine that shit. All right, I'm alive. Okay, so like I said, moving forward. Sorry about that. That's fucking professional content right here. If you're looking for charts and professional content, you are at the wrong fucking page. Choke on that, shorts. You know, like I said, I think theaters are strong. The potential for the growth in theaters, even more and more, it's just continuing to grow. You could look back and people can say the theaters are dead all they want, but they've had record numbers. AMC themselves have had record numbers. They've had the best quarters in their history, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just overshadowed by the debt and all that shit that, you know, and the debt is getting moved. It's getting paid. Every company, I don't know, you know, besides GME, I guess, but you could probably go to almost any company, probably 9 out of 10 companies, 8 out of 10 companies, major corporations in America and any other country, they're all going to have debt. You're invested in some of them. You know, there's people that short the company, that are long on companies that have debt, but they're just manipulating your what they say just to make it seem. And I understand, I get it from their perspective. They're trying to make money, and they are making money. They're going to continue to ride the gravy train until they can't no more. You know what I mean? So I get it. I can't say that I like it, but I get it. I understand that's their moneymaker. Everyone has their certain ways to make money, and that's how they do it. So, but look at like major companies. I can't name one off the top of my head because I don't have my facts straight, but I can guarantee there's major companies out there that are a long-term good investment for many people, many hedge funds, many corporations that are just as much in debt ratio to what they make as AMC is. So, and they're, fight it all you want, but AMC, and not just AMC, theater companies in general, I think it's going slower than I wish or would have liked, but it's progressively building back brick by brick. There's build back better. Oh no. But that's what they're doing. They literally are. They went through some shit that should have shut down a lot of them. And like I said, people like movies, man. That's just the fact of the matter. That's really what saved this company. People don't want the movie theaters to go down. They want to have theaters. They want to have that option in life to go to theaters. Worst case scenario, if all the theaters would have shut down and COVID would have just collapsed everything and retail wouldn't have came in and et cetera, there would be new theaters popping up. It's just a good business. You know what I mean? So that's it. That's where I'm at with it, and the FUD, the hate, the negativity, it's going to be there, and it's been there. So it's not going to be like something new. So I'm here with it. I'm dealing with it. It is what it is, so nothing for me that's worth stressing. We've had much bigger things in life happen besides the stock market. I've lost my grandma this year. I've found two of my close relatives passed away. I've walked in to find them.
Okay, there's that for you.
All right, thank you.
Oh, and then 8:32.
Oh, I gotta pay. Damn, that's that part. I almost got away.
So close.
So close. Too bad you guys know me. That's the problem. Weddle, what's up? How does what make sense? The stock price, it doesn't. I feel you. Trust me, I feel you.
We would just let it sit there, collect interest.
Yeah, all right. Here, I better leave something here.
Thank you very much.
All right, appreciate it.
You have a great one.
You too. All right, we're back. Yeah, Cinemark sitting at 32, AMC at 4. It's insane. AA is trash. Someone says maybe not. I don't believe he is. I think there's, bro. This is just a whole rotating argument that I don't, I don't know. I don't know how to explain this one no more. It's more, and if you are not a shill or not trying to spread FUD and you are invested in AMC, I do believe that was a compromising thing right there, that the hedge funds or whoever started that rumor or whatever, that AMC was, being infiltrated by the CEO or whatever the case was, that, I don't buy that. I've watched multiple videos. I've done my own research on it. To me, someone that wants to tank a company does not make the moves that he has made to help the company grow. If he wanted this thing to tank, there's so much more he could have done. But, there's going to be rumors, there's going to be FUD, and it's not going to stop, and you're entitled to your opinion. There was a moment there, I don't know if you've watched my videos for a while, there was a time before the Judge Zern trial and all that, I really did think AA was against us. I got caught up in the hype without really doing my own research. I was just listening to YouTubers, like a big mistake that no one should do. Like, don't take my word for it, don't take anyone's word for it. Use your own instinct, your own research, your own DD, really. But if you watch just a certain set of YouTubers, it's easy to get caught up in it because they're going to show you this, they're going to show you that. But I started kind of broadening my horizon, I guess, and opening my eyes to different possibilities. And it just didn't make sense. Being a business owner myself, if I'm hanging on and fighting and clawing for my company, I would be doing some of the same moves he was doing. So That's just my opinion. Who knows? I could be wrong, and I've never sat here and claimed to say that I am totally right and there's no possible way I'm wrong, but that's just the way I see it. And I guess for all of our sakes, that if you're bag holding or investing or a new investor or old investor or whatever it is with AMC, we better hope that my opinion is correct. Because if not, we are fucked. But yeah, it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of stuff. Like, we went through the process of, the very beginning when there was not a lot of snakes out there whispering in our ear that it could be this, it could be that. It went from straight up all against Citadel and Ken Griffin and Robin Hood and all this shit was happening. It went straight up against them to kind of siding it, splitting it. Oh, well, now it's Gary Gensler, now it's SEC, now it's the government, and then it went from the government to, oh, well, now it's Adam Aaron, he's trash, da 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 da. And then now it goes to, oh, well, they can't recover, the movies are done, it's streaming. And then it goes to debt, they'll never get out of debt, debt starts getting paid. And then it goes to, oh, well, it's just over, there's no way they can recover, blah 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 blah. Now it's kind of back to they're working with hedge funds, and it's just a revolving nonstop flood, I guess, to get you out of your position, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not a fucking genius, but I've been watching this play closely and long enough to where I think that I've got some sort of grasp on it. Obviously there's always going to be some sort of moving parts or things that happen that you're like, oh shit, when did that happen? I don't know if you remember, for a long time there was like something happened every week with AMC. It was like big breaking news that no one knew about, only the people that were invested and really looking into this shit. So they've done a great job of kind of covering that type of shit up again and like, nah, let's not let this come to the forefront, let's move on. And I get it, it's been a long play. A lot of people are sick of it, and a lot of people are just left their position and they're not adding, and they just turn their back to it, and if it pops, they come back to it. A lot of people have sold out, and on the other hand, a lot of new people have bought in. I was looking at some of my past purchases, and I was looking at one point, I bought some shares at like $2.62. I was loading the fuck up back then, and I'm thinking like, god damn. I remember at that point, everyone's like, it's $1.50 next. They kept saying it's gonna go to $1, then it's AMCQ. That's another one you hear, AMCQ coming soon. Those types of things are just gonna continuously happen. They've been happening for years, and it's not, the company is that's why I say I don't think the CEO is trying to tank it, because it would have been gone by now. They had many opportunities to. And then a lot of people say they're milking it for this and that, and that's an argument you could come up with, but it's also, it doesn't kind of coincide with some of the things that are happening as far as expanding the company. If you want to just milk it, you're going to milk it for what you got. You're not going to say, okay, well, now we're going to do this, now we're bringing in our candy, now we're doing this, and we're expanding, and shutting down theaters that aren't making money and opening theaters that are, and we're, staying top of the line screens, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all the shit they do. So it's just kind of, there's going to be a rebuttal for everything. I guess you just got to follow your own gut, your own instinct, your own DD, and go with it, But I don't think it's over. I think we're really, when this all started, we were talking about, or not we, a lot of people were talking about billions and billions of dollars. This could just wipe out tons of generationally built funds and companies and whoever is on the other side, whatever. They're not going to just let this thing go. It's not just, it's going to have to be forced by a government, a black swan, or something like that. So, we just I'm just hanging until it happens. And I believe inevitably it will happen, because I do believe that what happens in the dark comes to light. I do believe that good generally prevails at some point or another. Might not happen overnight. It might take 10 fucking years. I don't know. And if it never happens, then I've never fucking sold my shares, and I'll just be chilling. You know what I mean? Still living the normal life I would have been living if I didn't have the shares. So that's how I look at it. It's just kind of almost a hobby at this point. You're just like, hey man, let's investigate that. Look at this. Oh my God, look at this. Why is no one looking at this? And it opened me up to a whole lot of other knowledge towards investing. I'll say that, because AMC really put my nose to the grind when it comes to the stock market. I mean, I've made more money on the stock market because of the knowledge I've gained, because of all the shit I've read and studied due to AMC that I probably never would have. I would have probably just been a regular dude throwing in a few bucks here and there. And now, and I'll tell you this, man, when you see something dip, oh, it's so easy to buy the dip on any other stock now, and it's so easy to hold out. Like SoFi, I've been holding SoFi. My average on SoFi was like $5. When that shit popped the other day, I thought, my God, look at that shit, you know? And it's been going higher and higher and higher, and I'm just looking at that. That one's tempting for me to cash out of, but I'm still waiting a little bit. I have a real bad issue with pushing the sell button. It's easy for me to buy the buy button, but there's certain holds like SoFi, and I'm thinking, man, if I can hold through this, and it's probably going to dip again, and then when it dips again, if I buy more, then it'll pop, and if it never dips, then hey, man, at some point I'll sell. But like I'm trying to say is a lot of these plays that I'm in now, it made it a lot easier to sit there and hold through the negative and the red. I was in the red with SoFi for a good, I don't know how long it was, but it was a good minute. But it really didn't feel like shit just because I'm so used to being able to buy the dip and holding out with AMC. So it's taught me a lot. It's you know, I really went in depth in reading charts because of AMC, all this shit, you know. Yeah, SoFi was a good one. If you more than doubled, that's great. I'm more than doubled now, but like I said, I have trouble hitting that sell button for some reason. Most of my holds, I will say probably about 90 to 95% of what I hold in my portfolio, I'm holding throughout, unless it's just a giant number and I can't resist it. And a giant number to me is probably in the upper 20, 30K, you know, 40K, 50K type pulls. I won't pull out. It's just how I'm doing it. You know, I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm not. But you know, I'm holding everything for 10 to 15 to 20 years. We'll see where it takes me down the road. For me, I don't want to, I'm not trying to brag or boast or whatever. I make decent money in my businesses. So, the stock market for me is like it's for the old version of me, the retired me, you know. So whatever comes of it then will come with it then, and hopefully it's good. That's all I gotta say, you know. Yeah, SoFi was a long hold, man, but I'm just saying there's a lot of plays that I've been able to stick it out, and like I said, learning reading charts, all this has come from AMC, this whole debacle, I guess you could call it. So there's a lot involved, man. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad. I don't think AA will dilute again at all. I could be wrong, but that was kind of one of the big things for a while too, the dilution. It's gonna, you know, a lot of things happening. So the Nye says he just did. When did he dilute? Are you talking about the debt restructuring or the payment for shares? Yeah. So I mean, there's going to be a lot of things to look at, and like I said, if AMC dilutes or if GME dilutes, because remember when GME diluted, it wasn't like this big thing, but when AMC did, it was like, oh my God, they're killing the company. So you got to look at it, you know, if you believe in what the company's doing and they dilute, then they dilute. In the long run, it's got to be beneficial for the company. In the short term, it's like, fuck, you know, why'd they do this? But people are gobbling up shares every day. Me for one, another one. You know, a lot of people say the retail's, there's not enough people in the world to keep buying, but I would have to argue that there's a lot of people. I like, okay, so I know one guy personally that just bought, I don't know if he wants me to disclose, but over 20,000 shares. You know what I mean? And he already had over 20,000 shares. So there's people out there buying like shit tons of shares, you know, and it doesn't, yeah. Clarence says he would have to announce it. I haven't heard anything on it. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm not saying it did happen because I haven't looked or haven't seen nothing. They would definitely announce it before it happens. And even if he did dilute, like I said, I'm all the way in. So I'm going to have to just go ahead and say that it would be good for the company if I like it or not. So anyways, with that being said, I got to jump out, man. I got to get some shit done. I got to get my orders ready for the day. I just want to jump in and talk with y'all, man. And hopefully everyone's doing good. Don't let the stock market stress you the fuck out. If it is, step back, you know, figure out a different way. to make your money. So have a good day. Be blessed. Let's get rich soon. And remember, this is not financial advice. I don't know why you'd fucking think that. I'm just a regular ass dude. Have a good day. Peace.